An epic journey awaits. Join me and my time-traveling apprentice, Remembro, as we take you back to the 90s.
Today we're taking a look back at 10 cartoons from 1993 that ran for only one season. Some of these were great, while others were horrible. A season is defined by how many weeks it airs, not the number of episodes. For shows that aired 5 days a week, 65 episodes were produced for a 13-week season. Leave us a comment below if you remember watching any of these.
Squeeze It fruit drink. So much fun, kids can't wait to get their hands on it. That's because you don't just drink a Squeeze It, you squeeze a Squeeze It. Squeeze it in fruity flavors like chocolate cherry and mean green puncher. Go ahead, squeeze the fun out of it.
Number 10, Family Dog. Based on a short from 1985's animated series Amazing Stories, the Binsford's family story is told through the eyes of their dog, Jonah. This was one of the first collaborations between Steven Spielberg and Tim Burton, a humorous yet dreary tale of a neglected little dog despised by his family. The first episode sets the tone of the series in stone, with non-stop dark humor and sometimes eerie, if not frightening, behavior amongst the cast of kooky characters. Family Dog would be pushing more boundaries than a show like, for example, The Simpsons. It may have been ahead of its time. The first episode premiered June 23rd and introduces the audience to just how crude each family member can be.
Mad dog! Mad dog! Kill the mad dog!
Hey, do not get the dog! All while the storyline of a neglected dog dying of thirst plays out to whimsical background music. The characters do deliver lines we can laugh along with, and in some cases with voices we can recognize, such as the father played by Martin Mull. Stupid dog. But the sheer scale of constant off-putting demeanor in regards to the main protagonist, Jonah, simply couldn't be ignored. General audiences at the time concluded that the Binsfords were too wrapped up in themselves and people gradually tuned out, lasting only a single summertime month of 10 episodes. It was panned by the critical media, with multiple critics considering Family Dog one of the worst animated television shows of all time. Today you'll find an abundance of fan appreciation online for the art style, unconventional plot lines, and in fact that very same crude humor that landed this eccentric series in the doghouse.
Hey, dude, it's not your clothes you need to change, it's your pencils. Yikes are the only pencils as unique as you. Yikes are pencils and erasers with outrageous shapes and colors that go straight to the core.
Sorry, Dad. Yikes can't work miracles.
They write like other pencils, but they make you go, yikes!
Number 9, The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. The chili dog-fueled fearless hero uses his supersonic speed and teenage angst to oppose the despicable Dr. Robotnik. The series was shown through syndication in the fall of '93, on either weekday afternoons or mornings, depending on the TV station. Based on the best-selling video game franchise that hit shelves in 1991, the cartoon would feature Sonic along with his idolizing young friend Tails, a mechanical genius and skilled pilot, taking to the sky by spinning his multiple foxtails like a helicopter rotor, with aid from Professor Kanenstein, an anthropomorphic dog who invents things to help the duo. Main baddie Dr. Robotnik was one of many candidates designed to be pitched as Sega's new mascot, but became arch-rival to Sonic instead. His plans always end in failure thanks to the efforts of Sonic and his allies. And where would any mad scientist be without a cast of bumbling henchmen? Casting Jaleel White as Sonic himself.
Get to the point, Professor. I've got waves to catch.
A staple of ABC's TGIF lineup since debuting the character of Steve Urkel on Family Matters, turning what was intended to be a one-off appearance into a career that would see him not only voicing this Sonic, but the Saturday morning series Sonic as well. All this while maintaining a filming schedule throughout the 5th season of Family Matters. Yet Adventures received mixed reception. The dislike founded in comparing Adventures to another show, airing simultaneously and also being produced by Beat Corporation, titled simply Sonic the Hedgehog. It featured darker stories that departed from the tone of the Sonic games. Adventures put emphasis on positive themes for kids about personal safety and relationships, but remained lighthearted and comical. Critics listed as uninteresting, unfunny, and all-around annoying, or a more concise critique, bloated with chili dog jokes. Adventures lasted a total of 65 episodes. Although Deke Entertainment planned a second season, one didn't come around as they chose to continue with Saturday morning's more mature Sonic series instead.
All new Battle Trolls coming this fall. Wolfman Troll, KO Troll, the Trolltimate Wrestler, and more. Collect them before they collect you. New Battle Trolls coming this fall. East Valley.
You're
You're watching Nick. And now back to Nickelodeon Wienerville.
Number 8, the all-new Dennis the Menace. This heartwarming and hilarious series depicts the adult world from a child's perspective. Commonly stylized as Incredible Dennis the Menace, this rendition first aired September 18th, hot off the summer box office success of the live-action family comedy motion picture, released that June, despite the fact that an already established Dennis series was still airing and had been since 1986. Characteristically inquisitive and never meaning to do harm, we get precisely the vision of Dennis Mitchell one would expect to get in a cartoon, the slightly spoiled only child of Henry and Alice Mitchell. Father Henry could be best described as the man in the big yellow hat without the yellow hat. While he's forever spouting good advice, it rarely, if ever, seems to stick. The late Phil Hartman was an excellent voice actor. Unfortunately for viewers of the all-new Dennis the Menace, he voiced Henry on the 86 version. And after the 86 version had been rerun for years, people had grown accustomed to enjoying that aspect of the classic.
A what? Dennis, a genius?
When audiences were now presented with a line from this newly voiced Henry, it immediately took you out of the zone, and all momentum the episode built as far as interest goes was lost.
But dear, I had a golf game with the boss this afternoon. Who'll watch Dennis?
The Wilsons function as more of a set of grandparents than they do as neighbors, bringing an air of comfort to the overall atmosphere of the show. Ultimately, viewers chose to stick with the classic series and opted to switch the channel to the 10 a.m. airing of Tiny Toons instead. The 86 series, it should be pointed out, isn't necessarily a fair basis of comparison to go on. One reason being that the show was sponsored by its copyright owner, General Mills. It wielded a far larger budget than the rushed 93 production. But even with its lackluster writing taken into consideration, this 13-episode season retains that nostalgic, washed-out early 90s feel that many fans of the era will find appealing.
You did it on purpose? Wow, the shoes that are already pre-slimed with green slime glow. And check this out. They glow in the dark. Matter of fact, these are the only shoes with green slime glow. The shoes that only Nickelodeon can bring you. Watch where you're glowing.
Number 7, Stone Protectors. An atrocious rock band known as the Rock Detectors discover 5 magical stones, which endow them with troll-like appearances and special skills. This puts them at odds with the otherworldly music-hating Zoc and his henchman Zinc, together known as the Predators. Re-emerging in the early 90s was the troll doll craze that has frequently resurfaced in popularity since as far back as 1950s. These wild hair figures were based off of Scandinavian folklore and certainly bear a striking resemblance. The troll line aside, Stone Protectors took inspiration from multiple sources, including the superhero genre and the show's vibe, generally followed in the same vein as contemporaries like Toxic Crusaders and Swamp Thing, all in an attempt to market the concept to young boys in a combination of cartoon series and action figure toy line. A kingdom built on crystals came under attack by Zoc, who of course desired these powerful crystals. The crystals having then exploded into 6 shards. Zoc manages to capture one piece before the rest eventually make their way to planet Earth. Cornelius, the leader, wields the Green Stone, which turns him into a samurai. Maxwell's Orange Accelerator Stone makes him more athletic and speedier on his trendy 90s rollerblades. Chester holds the Red Stone, providing him with immense strength, although he's built like a pro wrestler as it is. The Yellow Stone allows for Angus to turn objects into weapons while enhancing his combat skills. And Clifford's Blue Stone helps him climb rocks. His superpower is climbing rocks. Try working that into every episode without overloading the cringe meter. 13 episodes aired, still only the first 8 are available on the internet. Shoddily recorded from the Family Home Entertainment VHS releases, which lack the final 5 episodes. While discussing the animated series, the toy line, or even the multi-platinum video game releases, Stone Protectors was seen as a poor imitation of the uber-popular Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and was overlooked by many.
Watch me trick friend. I'm the Fruity Troll. Give me a Fruity Pebbles. And you
More
can
trolls?
Okay. Orange, cherry, grape, lemon, and lime flavors. Ready for takeoff. Barney! Gotta fly.
Pump's Fruity Pebbles cereal makers. Introducing the Bedrock Shop. You can get this Flintstones t-shirt, watch, and more free.
With proofs of purchase plus postage and handling. Details on marked boxes of Post Pebbles cereal.
Number 6, Crow. In the Ice Age, a young cave boy uses simple engineering and physics concepts to tackle everyday problems, with help from his adopted Neanderthal family and a herd of friendly, talking woolly mammoths. The series itself is told through the recollections of an orange woolly mammoth named Phil, who was found frozen in ice by eccentric scientist Dr. Cecilia. After defrosting Phil, he begins to tell Dr. C and her assistant Mike tales of life in the Ice Age, including stories about his friend Crow, a Cro-Magnon boy. Being produced by the Children's Television Workshop, which these days goes under the banner Sesame Workshop, meant that every episode was going to rely heavily on the theme of education, introducing the basic concepts of physics, mechanical engineering, and technology to its young audience. Comprising the cast of characters are the selfish leader of Crow's adopted Neanderthal family, sensitive Gog, who played by the familiar and highly accomplished Frank Welker, and mumbling Og, who would attempt to communicate through ape-like noises. Notably, the voice of Dr. C's assistant Mike was provided by celebrity convict and mighty ducker Jesse Smollett. Following ABC's cancellation of Crow, the Children's Television Workshop launched its own channel, so it wouldn't have to rely on other companies to air its shows. This channel would become Noggin, and reran plenty of Crow when it debuted in 1999. The consensus online to this day remains absolutely one-sided, as virtually anything Crow-related comes with a positive review attached. So the poor decision to end the series under the assumption that the educational program wouldn't stand the test of time was flat out wrong. Ultimately, audiences were left happily watching Crow, while ABC was left eating Crow.
Snacks in my house, they were kid stuff until one day.
It's Cool Whip time, baby. To make your snacks the best around. A little Cool Whip, a cookie or two, and baby, your snacks will be so good.
Those boring snacks would never be the same. How'd you do that? Well,
Cool Whip time, baby.
Number 5, Double Dragon.
You gotta be strong, humble, never bragging. Always fight for right back, then roll with the power of the dragon.
Originally a Japanese arcade game whose popularity would spawn multiple sequels at the arcade and several home versions as well, with titles in the franchise still being released as recently as 2023. Billy and Jimmy Lee are twin brothers who were separated at birth and raised by opposing factions. Billy is raised in the Dragon Dojo, where the prime lessons learned are not to harm others intentionally and to avoid confrontation whenever possible. He uses his skills to do good by combining forces with his local cop, Marion, who curiously fades into obscurity during the series. Long-lost brother Jimmy arrives on Billy's doorstep while being pursued by the Shadow Warriors, a criminal organization composed mostly of mutants, such as a Blue, a Bobo. Jimmy fills us in that he'd been kidnapped and raised by the evil organization, but was eventually able to escape their clutches. Together, the Double Dragons work to uphold the code of Dragon and protect the citizens of Metro City. A running subplot of locating their missing father works to fill the gaps in between episodic confrontation. Shadow Master is the biggest threat throughout the series, brandishing supernatural powers including shapeshifting and teleporting. It'd later be replaced by Shadow Khan and his Terror Warriors in an effort to boost steadily declining ratings. While the program's numbers were never going to reach astounding heights, it's well animated and sticks closely enough to the source material for fans of the video games to find them entertaining. It paved the way for a '94 live-action martial arts motion picture, and although audiences weren't thrilled with it, the film did address and make up for the one thing the animated series was desperately short on: the martial arts and fight scenes. This was the main gripe viewers had voiced throughout the entire show's duration. Also, the film cast its characters slightly younger than the brothers are portrayed in the cartoon. In the animated Double Dragon, they came across as grown adult men, and it didn't carry the same relatability in regards to a young viewership. Number 4, The New Adventures of Speed Racer. One of the lowest rated cartoons in this video. Speed Racer is an updated version of the 1967 classic cartoon, produced by Fred Wolf, who previously helped bring us the 1987 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon. The new version brought back all the classic characters, but updated various aspects of the series. This included a new rock-style theme song and a modified Mach 5. Speed Racer was still the best race car driver in the world, but now he could also travel through time. The New Adventures of Speed Racer made its debut on September 18th in syndication. The cartoon failed to bring a new audience of viewers, and at the same time lost fans of the original. The biggest complaint was the new character designs and the attempt at Americanizing the series, as well as adding a time travel element. The toy line, however, had some moderate success, along with a new comic book series. The cartoon failed miserably and was canceled after just one 13-episode season. Number 3, Cadillacs and Dinosaurs.
Cadillacs and Dinosaurs.
Peanut Butter and Jelly, Peas and Carrots, and Cadillacs and Dinosaurs, debuting on Saturdays at 11 a.m. on CBS as part of its Saturday morning children's lineup. The series focused on old blood mechanic Jack Tenrek, who seeks to protect mankind against another global catastrophe by working with the environment instead of against it, residing in the remains of New York City, now mostly submerged underwater, while working on vintage cars from a world lost to time. The majority of episodes see Jack juggling an ongoing need to protect people from dinosaurs, and dinosaurs from people. Alternately working with and against Jack is the sultry and competent Hannah Dundee, ambassador from what was once known as Washington, D.C. Together, the two do battle against poachers, politicians, and the wilderness, while coming ever so closely to understanding the mysteries of their world. The show also managed to weave in some pretty serious environmental messages in a cartoonish way. For one example, Jack's classic cars all run on dinosaur poop. The world of Cadillacs and Dinosaurs first appeared in comic form, but this series ties in much more closely with the arcade and home port versions of the beat-em-up video game. As fantastic as the show appears and sounds, it wasn't going to find success by being slipped into a Saturday block in '93. The more adult tone and look handcuffed the cartoon by not appealing to the specific audience intended for the time slot. If released a little later on a channel like Cartoon Network, it would likely have gained a vastly larger viewership and stuck around longer. The lone issue pointed out by viewers was that at times it feels like Cadillacs and Dinosaurs is a foreign cartoon, being dubbed for English-speaking audiences. But if you'd like to judge for yourself, the entire series was made available for free viewing right here on YouTube.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Welcome to the Creation Station. We kids have been straining our brains to create this totally tasty snack, Dan and Sprinklins, creamy yogurt with a pack of sprinkles. We make them in 6 preposterous flavors, like strawberry over there at the Strawberry Jammer. There's the banana dudes hanging out, but the secret to making sprinkles truly stupendous is sprinkles to make the wildest taste you ever put in your face.
Dan and Sprinklins, the only yogurt snack with a sprinkles pack. Inside specially marked packages of Sprinklins is a Creation Station action pack that's 16 pages of fun.
Number 2, Droopy, Master Detective. From the golden age of animation when MGM Cartoon Studios still existed, Droopy reemerges with his new self-titled Droopy, Master Detective Show, now in the hands of Hanna-Barbera Cartoons and retaining that classic Tex Avery look and droopy deadpan comedic style. The series is a spoof of detective flicks and cop show clones, featuring Private Dick, Droopy, and his son DRIPPLE as detectives on the mean streets of a big city. Each 30-minute episode is comprised of 3 shorts. Sometimes crossover characters from other programs, like Tom and Jerry, were used to fill in gaps and draw in new viewers. Many other classic characters Droopy has met through his long history on screen would pop in from time to time. None of this was enough to garner much positive attention during its brief lifespan. Reviews online reflect a warm remembrance of the show, and a continued Droopy fan base seems to be going strong, as was most likely the case in '93. But let's face it, rounding out the final 11:30 time slot Saturday mornings on Fox Kids isn't exactly a prime position to build an audience from. With or without an already well-established cartoon character in tow, it stood little chance of seeing a series renewal the following fall. Soon, drooping ratings called for a cancellation, only managing a measly 13 episodes from September 11th to December 3rd before having to retire his badge. Number 1, Bonkers. In 1990's Los Angeles, Bonkers D. Bobcat finds himself a washed-up cartoon star and through dumb luck winds up employed by the Hollywood Police Department. A preview was initially aired on the Disney Channel in October, where they dropped a whopping 9 episodes of the series in advance of rival premieres. The plot does share the idea of humans coexisting with toons, but contrary to rumors, this TV series was never intended to be a spin-off of the 1988 live-action cartoon combo Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Assisting with nabbing cartoon criminals are his streetwise partner, the mustached Detective Lucky. And a little later in the series, we see the cool-headed police officer Miranda Wright, rotated in to stir things up. Love interest Fawn Deer, who Bonkers is willing to do just about anything to please and impress, was once co-starring alongside Bonkers back in their show business days. The series occasionally featured episodes of mini-cartoons from Bonkers' pre-police actor days, all lifted from the Raw Toonage series where he made his debut. While fans will no doubt regard Bonkers among some of their absolute favorites, it's likely many will have encountered the show at vastly different times and on any number of different channels over the years, least apt of which unfortunately being during its actual time of airing. And if never accumulated the numbers one might expect on a show of this caliber, the horse designed by committee would eventually wind up having been animated by 8 different studios. Episodes were not created in chronological order, and this is evident when observing Bonkers' appearance at different points in the series. So while the series is loved by many and still spoken highly of today, it just didn't carry the clout to keep its head above water, among some extremely successful animated titles gracing TV screens in '93. Well, there you have it, 10 cartoons from 1993 that ran for only 1 season.
That cool whip guy was awesome.